Hi, welcome to the P3O Foundation course. The 3Ps stand for Portfolio, Program, and Project Officers. A little bit about One World Training. One World Training is a global training organization. We are based out in the USA, UK, the Netherlands, India, and many other countries globally. We deliver courses in different ways. And we are accredited by PeopleCert on behalf of Axelos and various other partners. This particular course is accredited by PeopleCert on behalf of Axelos. Feel free to contact us if you wish to undertake training in any of the products that we offer. A little bit about the Axelos best management practices. Now, the P3O is a part of a suite of guidance originally developed by the Office of Government Commerce. Now it is owned and enhanced by Axelos Limited. Axelos is a joint venture company, and it helps organizations and individuals manage their projects, programs, and services. And this particular guidance is supported by a qualification scheme and accredited training and consultancy services. If you look on this particular screen on the right side, we have the various products of Axelos. The product that we are dealing with at the moment is the Portfolio, Program, and Project Officers product. Now, when you kind of connect this product to the other products, P3O has got an influence, or rather a way of supporting other best management practices. For example, when you look into the MOP best practice of Axelos, MOP is a set of best management practices for managing portfolios within organization. Now, P3O, especially the Portfolio Management Office, would support the portfolio management practices within the organization. So let me just use the annotations button to link things for you. So the Portfolio Office would support the portfolio management practices. Now, the Program Office would support the program management practices within the organizations, and the Project Office would support the project management practices. And therefore, the best practice, the P3O best practice, is a practice that kind of cuts across portfolio, program, and project management practices. Now, the de facto, the popular standard in the world of project management is Prince2, and a very popular best practice in the world of program management is MSP. MSP stands for Managing Successful Programs, and a standard that is useful for managing your portfolios is MOP. And P3O is a framework that helps support these practices within the organization. Now, besides P3O, on this particular slide, we also have frameworks such as MOR. MOR is a framework that really would help managing risks at the portfolio level, helps manage risks at the program level, helps manage risks at the project level. So we need a framework or a perspective that looks at managing risks at multiple layers within the organization. Similarly, when you kind of look into the far right, you have ITIL. ITIL stands for Information Technology Infrastructure Library. Now, we also need IT service management practices across projects, programs, and portfolios. And that's the reason why MOR, MOV, P3O, and ITIL, they kind of cut across the portfolio, program, and project management practices. And let's kind of look into some introductory comments about P3O. So let me just move on from this particular slide. Now, the portfolio, program, and project officers guidance let me use a spotlight to kind of help you follow through the content on this particular slide. The Portfolio Program and Project Office's guidance provides advice supported by discussion and examples. So as we go along this particular course, I would provide you with examples and the relevant information for you to understand the framework. And the guidance also helps in developing a governance structure that helps optimize an organization's investment in change. We all pump in money on various projects and programs, and this particular framework helps develop a governance framework in terms of optimizing our investments. Not only does it help in optimizing our investments in change, but it also helps in managing our BAU work. And this particular qualification is offered at two levels. It's offered at the foundation and the practitioner level. Now, what is the purpose of the foundation level? Now, the purpose of the foundation qualification is to confirm that a candidate has sufficient knowledge and understanding of the P3O guidance. Now, please keep in mind that the foundation is not a qualification for applying or analyzing, but to have the needed knowledge and understanding of the P3O guidance to interact effectively with or act as an informed member of an office within a P3O model. So the office could be a project management office, it could be a program management office, or a portfolio management office. So this particular qualification would help you become an informed member of these offices. Now, another important point to consider is the fact that the foundation qualification is a prerequisite for the practitioner qualification. In other words, you cannot go ahead and do the practitioner qualification unless and until you are certified at the foundation level. Now, let's kind of look into who would be the recipients or who would be the best target audience for this particular course. So let me just move on to the next slide. Now, the target audiences would be members of offices within a P3O model. Now, you could kind of have multiple offices within a P3O model. You could have a project office, a program management office, or a portfolio office. So the members of these offices. So who could be some likely members? These could be members of the project boards. These could be members of the program board or the portfolio boards. These could be folks at the managing layer at the project, program, and portfolio level. So you have quite a number of people who would be in the offices. So they would be the beneficiaries of this particular guidance. And anyone who needs to understand the terminology and concepts underpinning P3O would benefit from this certification. And those who wish to pursue higher level qualification, for example, if you would like to pursue a practitioner qualification, this particular certification would really help you towards that particular end. Well, what are some high-level performance definition of a successful foundation candidate? In other words, by the end of this course, what is it that the candidate should go away with? What should the candidate carry with him or her in terms of knowledge? So the candidate should understand the key principles and terminology within the P3O guidance. Now, a common vocabulary is important for effective management of projects, programs, and portfolios. So this particular framework would help towards that particular goal of having a common terminology. Specifically, the candidate should understand a high-level P3O model. In other words, what would be a desired P3O model for an organization, and what are the different types of models available as a part of the best practice, and what are the component offices. So that would be one of the takeaways from this particular course. And then you would kind of look into the differences between portfolio, program, and project management. Now, these three terms are kind of used in a different manner within the organization. So it's important that we understand what are the features or functionalities or characteristics of a project, of a program and a portfolio. So we're going to look into those differences as a part of this particular course. And the third element is we would kind of examine the functions and services of a P3O model. In other words, what would be the function of a portfolio office? What kind of services does a portfolio office provide? What kind of services would a program office provide? What kind of services would a project offices provide? So the framework would kind of give all the best possible functions and services. And depending upon your needs within the organization, you might want to tailor what functions and services are required within your organization. And the next item would be, we would look into reasons for establishing a P3O model. Why is it that we need a P3O model? Why can't we just manage projects and programs and portfolios without an office? So what is the reasoning? What is the rationale? What is the key driver for establishing a P3O model is what we're going to look into. And then we're going to examine the different differences between types of P3O model. You have centralized P3Os, you have decentralized P3Os, and what kind of factors do we need to keep in mind when we select an appropriate model for our organization? So we're going to examine some of those factors as a part of this particular course. And then we have some good practices in terms of some ideas in terms of how do we go ahead and implement a P3O model. In other words, what steps do we need to take to implement a P3O model? And if at all you already have a model in place, how do we re-energize that particular model is one of the key objectives of this particular course. And then we would examine some tools and techniques used by a P3O. And finally, we would close with some major responsibilities and the purposes of different roles within the context of P3O. Now let's kind of examine the assessment model. In other words, what is it that you would be examined on? So this particular model gives you a perspective in terms of what is it that you would need to be familiar with. Now at the foundation level, you would be examined in terms of learning outcomes at level 1 and level 2. In other words, level 1 is all about examining your knowledge about facts, your knowledge about terms, concepts, principles, different model types, so on and so forth. And they would examine you in terms of your comprehension of the various concepts and principles that we study as a part of the course. Now, the entire learning model or assessment model is designed along the lines of Bloom's taxonomy. Now, Bloom's taxonomy is a very a popular instructional design theory. Now, when you learn a new framework or a new best practice or a new standard, you need to kind of begin with some foundational understanding. A good example would be, when we teach our children, we begin teaching them alphabets, the A, B, C, and so on. And then we teach them how to form words. And then we teach them how to form sentences. We teach them how to form paragraphs, how to structure an essay, so on and so forth. Now, that's the kind of thinking behind foundation course. So at the foundation level, you would be tested on at levels 1 and levels 2. And in the practitioner, you would be tested at levels 3 and levels 4. You would be given the needed competence and skills to apply and analyze what you have learned as a part of the foundation course.